this is, I think, for sure not just a queer experience, but of course I relate to it as a queer experience, but those very sort of like gut-punching moments when something is spoken to a room that is undeniably true. And it's both very exciting and powerful, and in my experience has often also felt very scary. And I think that I don't know that I'm certainly not a scholar of trans literature, but your passage about speaking your name for the first time feels to me, I haven't read something that's quite really talked about that experience of sort of like honing in on that particular part of you. And I think, you don't write it in this particular passage, but it's really woven throughout the book, your relationship to the ancestors, and that feeling of your spiritual connection and sort of the divinity of the ancestors looking over and watching out for you. And because it's so interwoven in the book, I feel that very strongly in that passage as well. And I think, I just wanted to ask you what you feel. I think your life story is like very particularly attuned to this, like the connection between like queerness and sort of like the divine and this feeling of spirituality and like connection with your community and with your world and your spirit world. I think that in traditional spirituality and divinity, we are obviously historically cut out and shamed and felt that we don't have any sort of space there. And I think what is so healing about your book is you offer a path towards spiritual wellness and true connection that you have found for yourself. And it's like it feels like really an offering. So I wanted to ask you about your experience with that and what it meant to really write that and weave that into your book.
I think we can all relate to moments where we speak the truth, and the truth has a groundbreaking way of stopping time. Like when you say something that's true, it is undeniable, and it's like everybody feels it in the room. And but it's scary, and it also has an energy that comes with it. And I think for me, the ancestors, I think it's funny, I've studied so many Eastern philosophies. I think with religion, I went that direction. I went into Eastern philosophy because at least I wasn't born of sin, but at least there was something going for me. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, like maybe these people can kind of offer a home, And I think that there's something, for me, the spirituality that I've uncovered or discovered is anytime that we try to cut or section off a part of ourselves, it shatters something. It shatters like a wholeness that we carry. And for me, the most divine thing in the world is the feeling of being whole, and is the feeling of others being whole. I spend my life sort of inviting other people into their own wholeness, because I want to live in a world of people that are wholehearted and that have their whole selves. And I feel like when we cut things off of ourselves, what ends up happening is the rage and the hatred. And I know that I was going to say something about this at the beginning, but I'm aware of everything that's happening in the world, and I know how the suffering, you know what I mean? And I personally, my experience of that is when we do not acknowledge our wholeness, and all of that comes attached to shame, So I think I had to, because there's such in divinity and spirituality, there's such a sort of loathing of us, I had to kind of take those ideas and find where they, like a tuning fork, where they sang for me, and that's kind of what I've, as a yoga teacher, that's sort of what I preach and whatever, but I think that's yeah, I just think if we acknowledged sort of even the things that we were shameful about, maybe we wouldn't try to kill each other to stop the pain.